You think walking your dog is simple, right? Just clip the leash on, head out the door, and let them do their business. But here's the brutal truth that most dog owners refuse to accept. Every single day, you're making critical mistakes that are slowly destroying your dog's health, happiness, and trust in you. And the worst part? You have no idea it's even happening. What if I told you that the collar you're using right now could be choking your dog with every step? That the cute retractable leash you bought is a ticking time bomb waiting to injure both of you? That by scrolling through your phone during walks, you're missing life-threatening warning signs that could save your dog's life? This isn't about being a perfect owner. This is about understanding that small, seemingly harmless choices are creating massive problems you'll regret later. I've spent years studying canine behavior, working with veterinarians, and helping thousands of dog owners transform their walks from disasters into incredible bonding experiences. And today, I'm exposing every single mistake that's sabotaging your relationship with your dog. By the end of this video, you'll never look at walks the same way again. Let's start with something you're probably doing wrong right this second. That collar around your dog's neck? It's a weapon. Every time your dog pulls, that collar tightens around their throat, crushing their trachea and restricting airflow. Imagine someone wrapping a rope around your neck and yanking it every time you tried to move forward. That's exactly what your dog experiences dozens of times during every walk. Veterinarians see collapsed tracheas, neck injuries, and thyroid damage all the time, and they can trace it back to one thing: owners who refuse to switch from collars to harnesses. A properly fitted harness distributes pressure across your dog's chest and shoulders, the strongest parts of their body. It protects their neck, eliminates choking, and gives you better control without causing pain. But here's where it gets even worse. You might think you're being smart by using one of those retractable leashes. You know, the ones with the button that lets your dog roam 20 feet away while you stand there feeling like a responsible owner? Those things are death traps. Picture this. Your 50-pound dog spots a squirrel and takes off at full speed. They hit the end of that 20-foot line going fast, and suddenly physics takes over. That violent jerk doesn't just hurt your dog's neck, it can dislocate their spine, tear shoulder muscles, and cause permanent damage. And you're getting yanked forward, possibly losing your grip, spraining your wrist, or worse. The mechanism on those retractable leashes also fails at the worst possible moment. When you actually need control, like when a car approaches or an aggressive dog appears, you're fumbling with a plastic button that never locks when you need it to. The solution is embarrassingly simple. Get a flat leash that's 10 to 16 feet long. It gives your dog freedom to explore and sniff while you maintain real, reliable control at all times. With the right equipment, walks become safer, more comfortable, and infinitely more enjoyable for both of you. But even with perfect gear, you can still create dangerous situations in seconds. And it happens every single time you see another dog approaching. Here's what most people do without thinking. They let their dog walk straight up to an unknown dog without asking permission first. You've seen it happen. Maybe you've even done it yourself. Two dogs on leashes, walking toward each other, owners smiling like everything is fine. But in your dog's mind, alarm bells are screaming. When dogs are on leash, they can't escape. That fight or flight response we all have? Your dog only has one option left, and it's not flight. A dog that would normally walk away from confrontation now feels cornered, trapped, and forced to defend themselves. Even the friendliest dog can snap when they're on a leash and can't retreat. You're essentially putting your dog in a situation where aggression becomes their only communication tool. Think about it like this. Would you want a stranger running up to you in an elevator where you can't escape? That discomfort, that trapped feeling, that's what your dog experiences when another dog approaches without warning. The greeting that seemed innocent just became a potential fight, and you set it up. The fix is stupidly simple, but almost nobody does it. Before you approach another dog, stop. Make eye contact with the other owner and ask if it's okay. That 3-second conversation gives both dogs time to assess the situation, gives owners time to read body language, and prevents 99% of bad interactions. If the other dog is nervous, reactive, or just not social, you just avoided a bite. If your dog is the nervous one, you just protected them from a traumatic experience. This tiny act of communication changes everything. Now let's talk about something you're walking past every single day without realizing the danger. That sidewalk you think is safe? It's a minefield. Right now, your dog could be seconds away from ingesting something that will shut down their kidneys, pierce their intestines, or send you racing to an emergency vet at 3 in the morning. See that greenish puddle next to the parked car? That's antifreeze, and it has a sweet taste that dogs find irresistible. Just a few licks can cause complete kidney failure and death. The food scraps scattered on the ground aren't just gross, they're potentially lethal. Chocolate, raisins, grapes, gum containing xylitol, cooked chicken bones that splinter into sharp pieces, all of these things are sitting on your walking route right now. Construction zones are even worse. Nails, broken glass, sharp metal edges, all waiting to slice open your dog's paw pads. And in winter, road salt creates chemical burns that leave painful cracks between their toes. Your dog licks those paws to soothe the pain, ingests the salt, and develops serious digestive problems. Then there's spring and summer when foxtails appear. These barbed grass seeds are designed by nature to burrow forward, never backward. They enter through the nose, ears, or paws, then migrate through tissue, causing massive infections. Dogs have died from foxtails that reached vital organs. This isn't paranoia, this is reality. Every walk exposes your dog to hazards you're not seeing. The solution isn't to keep your dog inside, it's to scout your route beforehand. Choose cleaner paths, avoid construction areas, stick to well-maintained parks and sidewalks. When you plan ahead, you eliminate most of these risks before they become emergencies. But physical dangers aren't the only thing you need to worry about. There's something you're doing right now that's destroying your dog's mental health, and you probably think you're being a good owner by doing it. You're rushing them. Every time your dog stops to sniff something, and you tug the leash to keep moving, you're ripping away their primary way of understanding the world. For dogs, scent is everything. That fire hydrant isn't just a bathroom, it's a community bulletin board. Your dog is reading who walked by, what they ate, their stress levels, their health, even their intentions. Every sniff is information, and that mental work exhausts them more than physical exercise ever could. When you drag your dog along because you think you've already wasted enough time in one spot, you're turning the walk into a pointless march. You're meeting your needs, not theirs. Studies in canine behavior prove this. Dogs who are allowed to sniff return home calmer, more satisfied, and better behaved than dogs who only get dragged around the block. That's why dogs who don't get sniffing time come home and destroy your furniture. They're not misbehaving, they're desperately trying to get the mental stimulation you denied them outside. Sniffing isn't a luxury or a waste of time, it's a biological necessity. Build sniff breaks into every walk. Let your dog stand there and investigate for as long as they want. Yes, it takes longer. Yes, you might feel impatient. But you're giving your dog what they actually need instead of what you think they need. The walk becomes mental enrichment instead of just exercise, and that difference is massive. Here's where things get really dangerous. You've decided your dog has good recall, so you let them off leash. They come when called in the backyard, so they'll come when called at the park, right? Wrong. Deadly wrong. Your dog coming when called in a controlled environment with zero distractions means absolutely nothing when they're outside. The second your dog sees a squirrel, another dog, a cat, or catches an interesting scent, every bit of training vanishes. Instinct takes over, and your voice becomes background noise. But you trusted too soon. You thought your training was solid because it worked at home. Now your dog is sprinting toward a busy road, chasing wildlife into danger, or running up to a reactive dog that will attack them. People lose their dogs this way. Dogs get hit by cars, get lost, get into fights, all because their owners assumed recall was reliable when it wasn't. The truth is that most dogs never develop truly reliable recall because their owners skip the crucial steps. You can't go from practicing in the backyard to complete freedom. You need long lines, 15 to 30 feet, that give the illusion of freedom while you still have control. You need to practice in fenced areas with increasing distractions. You need to proof the behavior in dozens of different environments before you can trust it in an open space. Only after months of consistent work can you consider off-leash freedom. If you let your dog off leash before recall is absolutely bulletproof, you're gambling with their life. And here's something almost nobody wants to admit, but everyone does. You're walking your dog while staring at your phone. Your eyes are glued to the screen, scrolling through messages, checking emails, watching videos, while your dog is trying to communicate with you. That slight limp you didn't notice? It's a torn ligament that's getting worse. The excessive panting you missed? Heat stroke developing. The way they keep shaking their head? An ear infection that needs immediate treatment. When you're distracted by your phone, you stop being present. You miss warning signs that something is wrong. You don't see the bike approaching, the off-leash dog running toward you, the car backing out of a driveway. Your reaction time drops to 0, and accidents happen in that gap. But there's another problem you don't see coming. When your dog tries to get your attention with subtle signals, and you ignore them because you're on your phone, they learn those signals don't work, so they escalate. They start pulling harder, barking louder, reacting more aggressively, because you've taught them that gentle communication gets ignored. Walking without your phone in your hand transforms everything. You notice changes in behavior immediately. You anticipate problems before they happen. You read your dog's body language and respond appropriately. And your dog feels heard, valued, and safe. That strengthens your bond in ways you can't measure. Put the phone away. It can wait 30 minutes. Let's talk about something you tell yourself to feel better about your terrible walking habits. You think one walk a day is enough. You've convinced yourself that as long as you take your dog out for 20 or 30 minutes, you're meeting their needs. You're not even close. Your dog's body doesn't operate on your schedule. They need to eliminate waste every 6 to 8 hours to keep their bladder and bowels healthy. When you force them to hold it for 12 or 16 hours because you only walk them once a day, you're creating urinary tract infections, bladder stones, and bowel problems. That's not convenience, that's neglect. Your dog's energy doesn't stay level throughout the day either. They wake up with a burst of energy that needs an outlet. By midday, they're bored and understimulated. By evening, if they haven't burned energy properly, they're bouncing off the walls. Does your dog go crazy at night, running around the house, getting into things, demanding attention? That's not a behavior problem. That's you failing to spread walks throughout the day. 3 shorter walks beat 1 long walk every single time. 3 20-minute outings give your dog consistent opportunities to eliminate waste, burn energy gradually, and stay mentally balanced. The total time is the same, but the impact is dramatically different. Stop telling yourself 1 walk is enough. It's not, and your dog's behavior is proving it. Now we need to talk about something that can literally burn your dog alive, and it happens every summer. You walk outside, the sun is shining, the weather feels great, so you take your dog for a walk. What you don't realize is that the asphalt under your feet is hot enough to cook food. When the air temperature hits 86 degrees, asphalt reaches 140 degrees or hotter. Your dog's paw pads are touching that surface with every step, and they're burning. The pain is excruciating, the damage is severe, and healing takes weeks. In winter, the opposite happens. Extreme cold causes frostbite on paw pads, and road salt creates chemical burns. Your dog licks their paws trying to soothe the pain, ingests the salt, and ends up with vomiting and diarrhea. But you keep walking at the same time every day without checking the ground temperature, because you're on a schedule. Here's a test that takes 2 seconds. Put your palm flat on the pavement. If you can't hold it there for 7 seconds, your dog can't walk on it. It's that simple. Walk early in the morning or late in the evening during summer. Avoid the middle of the day when pavement is hottest. In winter, rinse your dog's paws after walks to remove salt and consider protective booties for extreme conditions. Ignoring weather conditions isn't just uncomfortable for your dog. It causes real, lasting damage. And if you're walking during hot weather, you better be bringing water, because if you're not, you're setting up your dog for heat stroke. Dogs don't sweat like humans. They cool down by panting, which means they lose water with every breath. When they can't rehydrate, their body temperature spikes fast. Heat stroke develops in minutes, not hours. You'll see heavy panting first, then thick drool. Their gums turn dark red. They become uncoordinated and sluggish. If they still don't get water, they'll vomit, collapse, and their organs will start shutting down. Death follows shortly after. All of this is preventable with a water bottle and a collapsible bowl. Offer water every 10 to 15 minutes during walks, especially in warm weather. Your dog might not drink every time, but having it available prevents disaster. Dehydration isn't just about comfort. It's about keeping your dog alive. Carrying water is such a small thing, but refusing to do it can cost you everything. Here's something you do every single walk that's destroying your relationship with your dog, and you don't even know you're doing it. You're ignoring what they're telling you. Dogs communicate constantly through body language. Ears pinned back means fear. Tail tucked means anxiety. Head lowered means discomfort. Whale eye, where you see the whites of their eyes, means stress. But you don't notice any of it. You're too busy pulling them along, focused on finishing the walk, checking your phone, thinking about work. So your dog's gentle signals get ignored, and they're forced to escalate. That dog who suddenly started growling at other dogs, they spent weeks showing subtle stress signals you missed. That dog who refuses to walk down a certain street, something there scares them, but instead of listening, you drag them forward. When you ignore early warning signs, problems grow. Your dog learns that polite communication doesn't work, so they switch to dramatic behaviors that you can't ignore. Barking, lunging, pulling, freezing in place. These aren't disobedience. These are your dog screaming because you won't listen when they whisper. Start watching your dog during walks. Read their body language. Respect what they're telling you. If they're uncomfortable, don't force it. If they're scared, don't punish them. If they need a break, give it to them. When you listen, your dog trusts you more. That trust transforms every walk into a conversation instead of a battle. But even if you're paying attention, you're probably making this next mistake without realizing it. You take the same route every single day. Same streets, same order, same everything. For you, it's easy and convenient. For your dog, it's mind-numbing. Scents stop being interesting. Stimuli become predictable. The walk loses its value as mental enrichment. Your dog gets bored, and that boredom shows up at home as destruction, hyperactivity, and constant demands for attention. Dogs don't just need physical exercise. They need novelty. They need new smells, new sights, new experiences. When you rotate routes, explore different neighborhoods, or even just walk the same streets in reverse order, you're giving your dog's brain a workout. That mental stimulation exhausts them more than walking twice the distance on the same boring path. Have 3 or 4 different routes prepared and rotate them throughout the week. Some days go to the park, other days explore a new neighborhood. Mix it up. The effort is minimal for you, but the impact on your dog's mental health is enormous. Variety keeps them engaged, curious, and satisfied. When you get home from the walk, you probably unclip the leash and move on with your day. But you're skipping a crucial step that can prevent serious health problems. You need to check your dog after every walk. Foxtails burrow into paws, ears, and noses, causing infections that require surgery. Ticks hide between toes, behind ears, and under the coat, transmitting Lyme disease and other serious illnesses. Small cuts on paw pads can get infected and turn into abscesses. Thorns, glass, splinters, all of these things can embed in your dog's feet without you noticing. A 2-minute post-walk inspection catches these problems early when they're easy to fix. Run your hands over their body, check between their toes, look inside their ears, examine their coat. If you find something, you can remove it immediately instead of discovering it days later when it's become a medical emergency. This simple habit saves you money, saves your dog pain, and gives you peace of mind. Now let's talk about something that affects everyone, not just you and your dog. When you don't pick up your dog's poop, you're not just being rude, you're creating a public health crisis. Dog waste washes into storm drains when it rains, contaminating rivers and groundwater with bacteria and parasites. It's not fertilizer, it's toxic waste. And when enough people refuse to pick up after their dogs, entire parks and public spaces get closed to all dogs. Regulations get stricter, rules get harsher. Responsible owners lose access to spaces because irresponsible owners ruined it for everyone. Picking up poop takes 30 seconds. You bag it, you throw it away, you move on. That tiny effort protects public health, keeps spaces open for all dog owners, and shows basic respect for your community. There's no excuse. Bring bags, pick it up, throw it away. It's not optional. Everything I just showed you, these aren't suggestions, these are requirements if you actually care about your dog's health, safety, and happiness. Every single mistake we covered is something you can fix starting today. Better equipment, smarter choices, more attention, it all adds up to walks that strengthen your bond instead of damaging it. Your dog trusts you to protect them, guide them, and meet their needs. That's a responsibility you can't take lightly. So stop making excuses. Stop cutting corners. Stop prioritizing your convenience over your dog's well-being. Start paying attention. Start making better choices. And watch how everything changes. Your dog will be calmer, healthier, and happier, and you'll finally understand what it means to be the owner your dog deserves.